Sir, we are facing recovery proceedings from our banks. So we just wanted to know how we can be protected by the MSME Act against the SURFACE Act.
Okay.
Mr. Shetty, the question which you asked is of similar importance, not alone for you. I know you are facing recovery proceedings under the SURFACE Act, but it's a question which is of equal concern to thousands of MSMEs across the width and breadth of this country. The Parliament in the year 2006 enacted a law called the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act of 2006, MSME Act of 2006, and the central government, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Ministry, issued a notification on 29/5/2015 in exercise of the powers conferred on it under Section 9 of the Act. And Section 9 of the Act empowers the central government to bring such notifications to carry out the purpose of the Act, particularly for strengthening the small scale and medium small scale industry, micro, small and medium scale industry, and to protect it from sickness and for its overall development. And Section 9 of the Act, Section 10 of the Act empowers or mandates or obligates the Reserve Bank of India to frame guidelines from time to time to ensure that there is a smooth flow of finance to the MSMEs. So therefore, the Section 9 and Section 10 are the two important sections so far as the MSMEs are concerned. Section 10 mandates the government or empowers the government. I should say it's better word to use mandates. It's a preventive legislation. The MSME Act seeks to prevent MSMEs from falling sick. It is a remedial legislation because its purpose is to see to that MSMEs which has fallen sick are not allowed to die. It is treated, it is regenerated, and is able to come back to its health, robust health, and prosper. So the legislation, MSME Act is a remedial, it's a preventive legislation, to prevent MSMEs from falling sick. It is a remedial legislation where it has fallen sick, to identify the incipient stress and to make available to the MSMEs a resolution process, resolution of this sickness. And therefore, this notification was issued on 29/5/2015, and this notification is a statutory rule because in Section 29 of the Act especially mandates the government to place before both houses of the Parliament a notification issued under Section 9, and this notification dated 29/5/2015, which provided for a framework for resolution of stress of MSMEs, was placed before both houses of the Parliament, and it has received the assent of the Parliament. So it is a law. It is as good as an act of Parliament for all intent and purpose. The difference between an act of Parliament and the statutory rule is that Parliament is short of time. For paucity of time, the details the Parliament empowers the executive government to make rules. So the act is a short one. The notification dated 29/5/2015 is a rather elaborate one, and this notification mandates that, obligates that every bank and financial institutions, before an account could be classified as NPA, it should identify the stress, incipient stress, and then make a reference to a committee for resolution of the stress. And the committee, the Constitutional Affairs Committee, the responsibility is cast on the board of directors of the bank concerns. So that is the importance with the central government has given to the resolution of the stress of the MSMEs. It has obligated, mandated the board of directors themselves to make provision for the constitution of the committees. And these committees are primarily consisting of the senior officials of the bank, and then the representative from the state government and an expert. So this committee is in the nature of a judicial tribunal, an expert committee which is of a judicial nature of a judicial tribunal. Then the committee, there are two ways of making a reference to the committee. These provisions are akin to the BAFR. So here it is mandatory because the micro, small, medium enterprises, all legislative policy, legislative scheme since independence and even prior to independence also was to reach out to reach out to the poorer section or those who are the weaker section of the society. So micro means the single unit artisans, investing small amount in. So small maybe little bigger in size compared to a micro, small, and medium enterprises. So we had even prior to the constitution coming into force a protective mechanism for MSMEs. And in 1951 the Industry Regulations Act was enacted, and it identified that certain industries can only be in MSME sector. And then it cast a duty on the central government to bring such laws and policies which are favorable to the MSMEs. The reason being, and the section 11B of the Industrial Development and Regulation Act of 1951 expressly says that this is a sector which could generate the maximum of employment. And we are a welfare, you are a democracy, and I should say our constitution itself says now after the emergency amendment which was carried out during the emergency, it's our socialist republic. And even prior to that also, we are considered to be a welfare society. So our directive principles of state policy is all meant for the community, the welfare of the Commonwealth. So that was a concept. So even in England also there is a concept that the king is the protector of those who cannot protect themselves. So res procurator factorum, that is what he say in Latin, res procurator factorum. So the 1951 Act or the Industrial Regulations Act, that itself mandated the government to bring such policies and frameworks to give favorable treatment to the MSMEs. But beyond that there was no legislation. And in 1985 the SICA came, Sikh Industries Companies Act. And the Sikh Industries Companies, the only limited companies were involved, were contemplated under within the ambit of the Act. And that scheme somehow did not go well. And in 2003, SICA was repealed. And the repeal was given actual effect, final notification was issued in 2016 only. But when SICA was repealed in 2003, the Parliament noticed that there is a need to have, we cannot protect the companies, limited companies, industrial companies, but we need to protect MSMEs, micro, small, medium. So that is the reason why 2006 enactment was enacted. Look at the object clause, preamble of the Act, the object clause. The Parliament noticed that there is no mechanism, there is no law as of now exists for the protection and for giving favorable treatment of the MSMEs. And to ensure that there are two aspects when it comes to the MSMEs for its growth and survival and growth. Two things are important. One is MSME should not be deprived of the finance. So the money, the finance is the lifeline of any industrial business. Secondly, MSMEs who are engaged in the business of manufactured services, even now trading now, they should be able to recover the monies for the goods supplied from the debtors. So therefore, this MSME Act has two components, two aspects. One is about the making available to the MSMEs the finance, and secondly for recovery of money which are due to the MSMEs. So in this video I am only confined to, because the question is also about the what kind of protection the MSME Act provides, contemplates as against recoveries, and the questioner Shetty asked me particularly about surfacing. So now therefore I am not going to the other aspect of recovery by MSMEs. Now I am only confined to protection of MSMEs of all sorts of coercion